Okay, we are back, guys. Walter, if that is just you, someone else is texting me about that. I'm responding to them really quick, and I'm gonna get right back into it. If it's not Walter, we switched to YouTube because, as I was saying on the stream, I've been trying to do the live streams in the app. I don't know why it's still crashing. I don't know if it's server issues. I don't know what it is, but probably what it is I need to pay more money. I'm only paying like $500 a month for the app right now, and I'm sure if I was paying more, then I'd have better server speed, so there's something to consider. So probably what we're going to continue doing for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday streams is more than likely I'm going to continue doing them in this YouTube style for the time being until I'm able to figure that out. I don't know how long that'll be, but I think this will be a decent switch, for the time being. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. It's a little bit late already. If at any point in this call you have questions, or the viewer watching this recording, you have a question, go to the comments section and type your question. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, it is Wednesday morning. We are midweek. First thing we want to do to start off is we want to go to Forex Factory. Something that's been a lot more prevalent, unfortunately. I'm pretty against this. I'm not the biggest fan of using, social media aside for business purposes. But Twitter has been a massive resource for keeping up just with everything, political, whether that's where everyone posts for some reason. That's where Elon's posting, Trump's posting, Nahu's posting for, apparently for whatever reason. Just all these political leaders are on Twitter, and whatever happens, they post it there. And those are things that move the market that are never going to be posted on Forex Factory or MyFXBook or FinViz, for example. Because those are just things that are happening with them on a day-to-day basis. So I'm considering downloading or making another Twitter account just for going on here for that. But something I would be cool to work on is if we could make like an AI app that channels all of that political data into just like an easy to use interface. That'd be cool. But that's something we got to work on. For right now, there's no news until 10 a.m. We're not going to be on here at 10 a.m. Yeah, you see, this wasn't here yesterday. Trump spoke. This is bad. And so what we're doing is we're just seeing how market has been reacting to these current news reports. The most recent one for the dollar was a slightly negative. It was pretty far off from what was expected. This isn't a major report, though. This just measures like manufacturing and production in the state of New York specifically. So that's not the most important, even though New York is a big driving factor for America, not the biggest thing for us right now. Nothing for Euro, so we don't need to pay attention to that. Euro has some news here, but nothing important. So we're pretty good. We have no news until tomorrow morning. So what we'll do really quick too, just because we're going to be scalping this morning, more than likely, is we're going to go to currency. Let me move myself down here. I like myself better on the bottom. Currency, strength, meter. Now, when you're looking for your currency strength meter, the one that I like to use the most is the one by livecharts.uk. I've been using them since 2020, literally, and they've always been a very solid platform. I see your comment where you said only 500. I don't even remember what I was talking about. So if you could remind me what you were talking about when we said only 500. Okay, as of right here, though, we can see that Euro is having the power, right? USD only has 1 bar at this current moment. Euro has 4 bars. This means that Euro has more strength, meaning that the currency pair, Euro USD, more than likely in this immediate moment, is going to be moving towards the upside. All right, so using this as an additional confirmation, this wouldn't be considered. Yeah, I know. Yeah, only 500. Yeah, so it's a white label. It's a white label app. So that also probably has a lot to do with it. So but that's how we were able to get it done in the time frame we got it done in. But yeah, so using the currency strength meter as an additional tool in your arsenal, it makes your trading, it makes your scalping a lot more accurate. I don't really like to use this if we're holding a trade for like a few hours or overnight, but on these sessions when we don't have as much time and we're just here, what's the market doing? Is there an opportunity? This is a good idea to give you, or this is a good way to get an idea about what the market is doing now with the strength of the currencies individually. Okay, so again, euro has 4 bars, USD has 1. Typically what that means, if we look, usually that's going to dictate the chart is going to be going up, which it has been. Okay, so using that as our first little ground basis, right, we can just say, okay, right now, based off of currency strength, euro has the power. Okay, so there's multiple other things that have happened, right? Last week, or on Sunday, we did a live stream where I'm talking about this channel right here. Yeah, I was talking about this and how we've been in this channel since March 10th already, so an entire week, right? And I hadn't been seeing any good buy opportunities, okay? And we were talking about, I literally went over both sides of the trade on Sunday, and the first time I trade in over a week, it comes back up and we break out, right? And now we're moving back towards the upside. So this channel that we were talking about could be considered invalid now, right? There probably isn't going to be a reason we come back to this channel specifically, so we have to start looking for new opportunities now. Okay, so that trade was an L. That trade lost. It happens, right? First trade of the week, but that's how it goes. That's how it goes. We got to get it back now. Okay, so now we have to identify why we lost it. It's a pretty easy reason to identify why we lost it. I'm going to do that more so on Thursday, going in depth into why we lost it. Again, these calls are going to be more so, if you have a question, we answer it, but we're just going to move forward with the analysis now. So as you can see, we changed and we broke structure, right? We had to change the character, moving towards the upside now. So now we just identify our new structure, right? So we can, I'd say safely, just for the sake of it, we could put it right here. Yes, we did break down to the bottom right here. Something I do want to say really quick while I remember this is the last stream I did on YouTube, I didn't even notice this, but like an hour in, it just ended and it cut off. So if it happens like that today, just go to the Cashflow app and tell me, hey, the stream cut off. That because I kept talking for like 30 minutes, dude, and I didn't know that no one was watching. So I would have restarted the stream if I would have known. So if this stream cuts out at any point, then just let me know. Let me know in the Cashflow app, hey, the chat cut out, or the call ended or whatever. But so with that, we're gonna go right back into this now. Okay, so we're just gonna start here. Right now, we're just gonna do raw price action. Then we're gonna add on our other layers, and we're gonna see what we can find. Okay. So first off, yes, we did break below structure a couple of times, but that would just be, an easy fake out. I would just consider that a fake out, nothing to be, like lose sleep over. Yes, we broke down a little bit, but as soon as we broke below that trend, what happened? Price got scooped back up, right? We could start the trend down here, right? But then that gives us missed opportunities here, 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 and here, right? So instead of moving your line to the very end of that trend, just treat it like a zone. Instead, make your life easier and put it right there in the middle, okay? So that is where we're gonna have ours right now. We're gonna leave it right there in the middle. So understanding that, okay, we're in this uptrend, right? My screens keep glitching, dude. Juke me out. All right, but we're in this uptrend right now, okay? As we can see right here, though, okay, we're starting to lose a little bit of strength, right? We're starting to lose some momentum. Okay, how do we tell that? Because we're starting to get equal highs, right? Before we were getting big, strong pushes up, down, up, down, up, down, right? And now we're getting equal highs, right? So this is a concerning thing. Same kind of situation as last week, where right now we are in an area where there is not too much certainty, right? Right, we're still very close to the trend line. If instead, like, the market was up here, then I would say, okay, well, maybe we can sell and ride this back down to the trend, right? If the market was instead like right here and we were bouncing off the trend, I could say, all right, guys, this is a good opportunity for us to buy because we're bouncing off the trend. But since we already we technically even haven't hit the trend yet since here, right? This is consolidation and this is riding the trend line, right? We're riding the trend line while we build up pressure to see who is going to win this trade, right? These are some big candles. We have a lot of doji candles right here. And that's because right here, there is a supply area. So understanding that, now let's look at the price. Okay, let's clean this up. And now let's look at our crosshair. We're going to look at the right side of the screen, and we're just going to put this right here. Is there any number that seems of significant value is what we're looking for. Now we're going to start looking for the psych zones, right? First, we identified minor support resistance trend, right? Now we're going to start identifying supply and demand, and the easiest way to do that without having to, look at all the different lines and all the different candles is just use psych zones, okay? Psych zones and whole number zones are a very easy way to summarize complex prices, okay? And put everything into one lump sum category that investors look for when they are trading. Okay, so we can already see here that we have this one marked up. This line is 1.5 thousand. So that is a whole number zone. Very strong level of supply and demand / resistance support, whatever you want to call it, okay? Now, we move up a little bit higher. The next one is going to be 5250. Why? Because that is a quarter number. If you're thinking about a dollar, right, there's 0, and you're going in quarters, there's 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100, right? That will be whole number, quarter level, half number, quarter level, whole number, right? So there's 3 different types: whole numbers, half numbers, and quarter levels. The order of significance in the order of strength and relevance is in the order that we just said, right? Whole numbers are the most important, half numbers are the second most important, and then quarter numbers are the least important, if you want to consider that as the word. Okay, so now we see why we're consolidating a little bit, right? So what happened is we exploded past this major whole number, right? What happens at a major whole number? Psychologically, investors slow down, right? So what happened is buyers started closing their trades and sellers started entering their trades. That's why as soon as we get to 250, right, we completely go back down, right? Now we go back down with heavy selling pressure right until where? Until 5,000 again. So we're trading around this area. The fact that we drop down right here, that kind of gives me a little bit of an indication that there is a bear trap forming, right? What would that mean? It's that price is getting orchestrated to look here like it is going down based off of the rejection from this zone. Oops, hold on, let me change this back to a dash. Dotted. Or dash, whatever. Okay, so yeah, so since price got rejected from this zone and we broke back underneath 1,000 or 5,000 more, and then we even had a little retest, I'm sure that there were a lot of positions that looked like this. I'm sure there were a lot of people that were in the market expecting this to continue going down, put a little 15 pip stop loss like we would have done. They were chasing the breakout. They seem like they were going in profits, and then they just get stopped out, right? So that would be an example of a bear trap, right? Because it's trapping bears, it's trapping sellers into thinking that the market is going to go down, right? Or in simple terms, that would be a fake out, okay? So understanding that there was a bearish fake out, right? Now we just have to see, okay, where are we at now? Okay, so we understand that now. We have our trend. We have our psych zones, which also lines up with our support and resistance areas. Pretty good, pretty good. So I'm not going to go and add more support and resistance. There's not really a reason to, right? We're already kind of pegged up right now. So what I am probably going to be looking for is a break to the upside because of the strength of euro, right? I said last week that maybe it's not the best time to bet against the dollar right now, but literally as soon as I say that, then we break out against the dollar, and now we're trading up, right? So it's something where, as of now, literally too, look, 8 minutes ago, there is an article posted. I don't know if my camera's here. Let me do this. Look right here. It says it right here. 8 minutes ago, the dollar eases off 10-month peak as focus shifts to central banks, right? So the European Central Bank. You know, the Fed is considered a central bank too, but I don't think that's what they would be talking about too much necessarily. I would say it has to do with how last week I mentioned with everything going on with Iran, everything going on with Israel, everything going on with America, you know, Trump going overseas and doing, you know, these geopolitical fairs, you know, that leads to uncertainty, right? And then when there's so much uncertainty, right now people are saying that he's dead, you know, and all this, and I don't know about that, you know what I mean? But I've been seeing some AI videos, I've been seeing some AI stuff, you know, so if you guys gotta tell me, is he dead? But if he's not, if he is, it's gonna be bad, bro. It's gonna be bad. And you know, not opinionated aside, it's just gonna be a movement for the dollar, you know, because we're up Israel's butt, and if Trump has to, you know, deal with certain stuff, that's just going to cause a lot of movement, right? And a lot of instability, right? So even though we're wanting to move towards risk off, right? If euro seems like a more attractive investment because of the interest rates, then more than likely euro is going to go up in comparison. Even if it's not paying as much, if it just seems safer, then it is going to go up in value compared to the dollar. So something happened. I could find out the exact thing, but, you know, does it really matter? Probably not. There's something happened over the weekend that decided, okay, this trend is done, right? USD has gone down too far, and we have enough reason now to start pushing price back up. That is where we are currently at, right? And looking at this, now we are experiencing a rock, right? A rock. Oops. Let me move my screen again. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Sometimes it's hard remembering where you're at. All right. But let me redraw this. Right now, right, this chart is in between a rock and a hard place, right? So this is the rock and this is the hard place, okay? Based off of this chart, just what we're seeing right now, there probably isn't a good entry right here, right? If we buy right here, we're very close to the top of this resistance where we had equal highs. If we sell right here, we are very close to the trend that is starting to build up buying pressure, right? So at that point, it could, more than likely what I'm seeing, just based off of this, we break up, but it very well could just drop off again, right? So based off of that, now we got to add on a couple other indications. We got to add on a couple other confirmations, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so that we have right here, you know, another quick thing we could look at on the 15-minute, this kind of looks like it could be forming a double top, or this looks like it could be forming a bigger double top. So that's another thing to be aware of. Is that going to happen with USD being so weak? More than likely not. So it's just things to be aware of, though. All right, so this is on the 15-minute. Let's just see what these are saying really quick. So these started pointing down, but as you can see, we're supporting on the middle band, meaning that more than likely this isn't ready to go down fully. We're starting to get a little bit of a reversal right here. If we drop down to the 5-minute, we can get a better look at the chart itself. Right now, this looks a lot more flaggish. You know what I mean? Looks a lot more flaggish. Right? And now this looks like we could have already broken, retested the zone, getting ready for continuation. That looks more bullish to me, right? And then same thing here, right? We have this starting to go up while this is continuing to go down. That's a sign of divergence, right? And when you have divergence, another good indication that the market is going to go in the direction of the oscillator, okay? So because the oscillators tell you what's happening early, right? They are, some people like to say they're lagging, but most of the people that say that the indicators are lagging genuinely don't know what they're talking about or how the indicators work. The indicators take data from all of the previous candles, so it's lagging, but it takes the previous data based off of the number of candles you dictated to measure, and based off of that data, based off of math and algorithms and formulas, it dictates the future direction of the market, right? The reason why people say it's lagging is because obviously it's going to be fucking wrong sometimes, right? It's not going to be perfect. You know, it's a tool. You know what I mean? The tool is only as good as the user, right? If I have a hammer and I try using it like a screwdriver, more than likely I'm not going to get that far. You know, so it depends on how you're using the tool, and it depends on how well you understand how to use the tool. And I'm sure we've all seen those videos on Facebook where it's like a master contractor versus like a brand new, 18-year-old construction worker, and it's like they have to hammer in a nail, and it takes the new guy like 10 times to hammer in the nail, and it takes the other guy 1 time to hammer in the nail. It's the exact same concept, right? Where using the indicators, it might seem like it's lagging if you're using it the wrong settings, if you're not using it with the correct manner, right? So, but the biggest thing I like to use the oscillators for specifically is identifying divergence, right? So we have a decent little sign right there. I could see some divergence going on right here. Granted, we're getting lower highs and, higher lows. So we're getting mixed up, we're getting bundled in price is getting tighter, but that just gives us confirmation, again, that whatever happens, if we enter for buys or we enter for sells, more than likely because of this pressure, we're either going to drop and go straight to take profit or straight to stop loss, or if we buy, we're going to go straight to take profit or straight to stop loss, right? At least it won't be a consolidating trade that you're in it for 4 hours, right? So either way, that would be our next confirmation. I would say this could be somewhat of a flag pattern to an extent, and it looks like we kind of already broke it. We're retesting it, right? So I would say that's some form of continuation. We have these 2 strong bullish candles, the blue bullish candles right there, another decent confirmation. Let's see what else we could possibly find. For this one, I'm going to go back to the 15 minute, we broke above the EMA line. Same thing though, you see we're hitting the Bollinger Bands, and the bands are starting to get tighter. So that's just confirming pressure is being built. Above the EMA line means we're good for buys. This one's pretty useless. That's saying what we already know. We're in between buying and selling points. That's not relevant. And here, let's see what this says. This says here that we are having a strong high. That's on the 15 minute, we're having a strong high. What's the hour say? Hour says nothing. Way up here we have a strong high. Way up there. Which could be the macro trade. That could be the macro trade, right? If we were to just, I'm going to take a second and do this. I'm not going to get too stumped on it because we're not trading the hour time frame. But if we were to draw a fib right here, this looks like it's getting primed, already set up to sell again. You know what I mean? We had our high, the low. Yellow zone is retracement zone 1, which we already broke out of. And then right in between zone 1 and zone 2 is this quarter level that we are currently consolidating at. And that's where it also potentially could continue down based off of that. So what I think I'm going to do for the sake of safe trading on this, because that is something to be somewhat concerned with, just because of the fact that, if let's say the trade takes 2 hours and 2 hours from now, that reaction could happen. So I'm going to drop from there. On the 5 minute time frame, it says we are having a weak high. So that's a decent thing for us. We're right at the level. Let's see what happens right here. Let's watch it for a second. Basically, what I'm looking at, though, is if we can get a clean break to the upside, I'll go in for buys. And basically how we see this structure here. I think short term, we're going to continue going higher. I think long term, though, we will push lower. So our overall bias is going to be waiting to catch those sells. But as of now, we're going to, as long as we have the space to ride the wave up, then I'm comfortable looking for buys. The only reason I wasn't comfortable buying on Monday is because I didn't think that we had that much room to push higher, right? But if we break past this resistance, then it's pretty much, sky high at that point until we hit the next fib resistance, right? And then possible retracement zone. But if we were to look, let's say we were to target, so we went in for a buy on the break, right? We can already get a good 30 pips right here, which is what we might do. Aim for 30 on the break, risk 10 to 12, 10 ideally. Oops, where is it? Yeah, right there, whatever. That's 3 to 1, whatever. So let's say we enter on here. You wait for the break. You could wait for the retest as well. You could wait for the break and retest as well. It just depends on the trade itself. Since there's no news right now, maybe it will be more accurate to wait for the retest. That way we get the full move. But sometimes it does just leave you, bro. So what if you feel like you are gonna get impulsive, maybe you can enter 50% on the break, wait for the retest, enter for another 50%. If you don't get the retest, you still made 50%. So that's something to consider as an idea. But I feel like it's a little premature to just go in and buy as of now, personally. This is the 1 minute. Yeah, if we were to look here, we can draw 2 potential bullish fibs. This is on the 1 minute, though. So, that has to be taken with a very, very large grain of salt, right? But if we look here, we draw this fib here. This looks really bullish, short term, right? We came right into the cash flow zone. What does cash flow zone mean? Blue means buy, right? So we could have bought down here. Granted, this is right when we got on, So now that we know that's where we were when we got on, right? Now that means that if this fib remains true, we have an idea about where we're going. So we might come back down, might hit the channel again, and then go to take profit 1, take profit 2, and then take profit 3. So understanding that means right here, we will potentially look for our chance to enter if this fib remains true, right? So as we can see here, right now we are currently at the top of the fib trying to break through it, right? And we're literally consolidating on the fib's trend, which is confirmation that this fib, even though it is on a 1 minute, it is valid, okay? Because the trend is already being respected. So I don't think I'm gonna enter right now because we are in the middle of all of this, but very easy to look for what we're gonna be looking for. All right, now that we understand this fib is somewhat valid, another quick confirmation I'll do is I'll move the fib to this most recent move. I'm going to move it from this low right here, and I'm going to move it to this high. So I'm measuring this move right now, right here. Okay, same exact thing. Where did we go? Impulsive move, and we came right to the blue zone. What does blue mean? Blue means buy. And then what happened? We go up, we retrace a little bit, we go up, we're going to retrace a little bit, probably around here to retracement zone 1, and then we'll start moving higher. At this point, we can choose to get in, or you can continue to wait. It just depends on the entry. Since we're looking at the 1 minute, how many pips is this? We'll see if it's worth getting in. If we can get a pullback on the next low, let's see. Let's just say we get in on the top right there. That would be putting us in 6 pips prematurely. I don't know if that's worth it. I do like this fib more though. Shows it's more long term. So I like the way this one looks. Bear with me, guys. I'm doing some confirmations here. Yeah, we're in the zone. I think we're solid with this, honestly. I want to tell you guys, let's just go in and enter here. If you guys don't care about being risky, right? I think it is good to get in here. It's just I feel hesitant because I could very easily see this happening where just imagine we get in right now, knowing my luck also, right? Where if we were to get in right here at current market price, like if we're starting to break, which looks nice, but I can just imagine this happening, bro. And then it comes to the trend, and then it goes back higher. So two things. One, we're going to be in the trade longer looking at drawdown. Or two, we could potentially get a better entry, right, is what I'm getting at. And since we only have a 10 pip stop loss, 10 to 15 pip stop loss, every pip does matter. We are getting the break right now. Fuck, nah, man, what do? We are, let me see. What time is it? 9 a.m. Let's see what happens with 9 a.m. Usually there's a reversal candle. Let's see what happens for 5 minutes. If we do go in, I'm gonna start the challenge officially today, but we're gonna see how it goes. If I want to get more viewers on for the $50 challenge. Let's see what we got, guys. Let's see what we got. So right now, for sake of speed, I am opening up on my phone. I have a $51 account. I have my 40 grand account too, but I'm already in a trade on that account. In on buys, so I'm already swing trading that one. But I have a $50 account I'm doing a challenge with, and I have a $100,000 prop firm challenge that I'm doing a challenge with. Now that we are getting this break, how many pips is that? How many pips? Sheesh, fuck. 6 pips already. What to do? Let's see. I think it's best waiting this candle out now. While we wait this out for a second, is there any questions, comments, or concerns about this general analysis process that we are in? Any questions, comments, or concerns? I'm going to wait and see if we can time a pullback. You see, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it is good. Like, if I wasn't talking and doing this, I would have just set a pending order. I would have set a buy pending order at this line, and I would have set a sell pending order here, you know, at the bottom of the trend, right? But we're explaining it, so we missed it, right? But you see how I'm saying, you know, it's better to sometimes wait, right? If we would have sold right here thinking it's going to go down, you'd be getting melted, bro. Sheesh. It's exploding right now. Hey, but that's what I'm saying, man. I know what I'm talking about, dude. I know what I'm talking about. As I get better with these live streams, I'm going to work on... I'm still in the Thursday night mindset where I feel like I need to explain everything because I want to. But by explaining everything, you know, you lose some speed. But, hey, that was a beautiful setup, though, right? Everything we said, you know, we had the reasoning as to why. And then as soon as we got the breakout, look, we're exploding. So 2 options as of now, right? If you weren't able to get in, right, all we got to do now is wait for a pullback of some sort. We might not get a full pullback, right, but we should get something. You want to look at the bodies of the candles, right, to an extent, right? You want to look for here, so maybe we'll get to there, maybe we'll get to here ideally, right? What I like to kind of do as a little trick is let's just measure Same thing as a fib. Same thing as a fib. Let's measure the break from above. Damn, dude, that thing's moving. That sucks. Let's look for an entry. What price is that? 53. I'm going to put a pending order. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put a pending order at... Look, we're starting to get our little reversal right now. At the next... You see, take profit 1 already got hit. That's crazy, too. Take profit 1 got smashed already, 14 pips. Now take profit 1 got hit. Now we're going to start pulling back a little bit. So I'm looking to get in... What the fuck should I just do now? We're dropping right now. I'm going to get ready. I'm just going to go in now. We bought... Did 50 bucks a pip on the prop. On my personal account, I missed it. Come on. This is gonna be a low risk trade. I'm doing 50 cents a pip on this one. Reason why I'm doing low risk is because still this is a high risk setup, right? Reason being is because of the macro hourly, right? On the hourly time frame. Yes, we're getting this push, but like I said, what if this is a fake, dude? So we're wanting to wait for it not to do this, okay? If we were scalping, we could have already made a quick 200 bucks and closed and been happy with our day. But now that we missed that opportunity, we got to move forward for now. What's happening now, right? So even though we could continue higher, right? The closer and closer we get, right? Let's go to a higher time frame. The closer we get to the macro trend, the more likely it is, the closer we see how we're getting this blue zone. Remember we mentioned this? I hate when I have too much stuff on here, bro. Oh, I'm drawing dots. Duh. Okay. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. So this big blue box up here, this is the macro chart, right? This is the macro. So yes, we still could keep going higher, but it's until when? You know what I mean? There's one of my mentors told me this quote. I forgot who it was, man. But it was a very good quote that helped me a lot when it came to becoming more accurate with my trading. He said, Ollie, a way you improve your overall profitability, okay? It doesn't matter where you get in the trade. It matters where you're planning to get out of the trade, okay? Because it could be an amazing setup in the immediate short term, right? But on the hour or the 4 hour, if you're hitting a brick wall, that setup doesn't mean anything, okay? And vice versa. You know, if you're analyzing overall on the 4 hour time frame, right? But you're pressing buy and sell on the 1 minute time frame, that analysis has nothing to do with your trade. Okay, so understanding what we're saying with that right now, yes, we have a good opportunity to ride the breakout, right? And look, we got a nice little retest. We got scooped up by buyers, right? If we look at the wick, we got scooped up by buyers. So we're good. We could be chilling here. We could be chilling, right? But now that our new entry, since we missed that, we have to adjust, right? So our new entry is this now, okay? Let's go to the 5. I'm going to keep it on the 5 minute. If I stare at the 1 minute, you go crazy, dude. I can't stare at the 1 minute time frame. The only time I use the 1 minute is for entering. It's more entertaining for you guys as well, you know, if I keep the chart on the 1 minute. But, it's no good, bro. I hate the 1 minute time frame. I used to trade it like crazy, but, you know, no fun. All right, so now we still have the same setup. Same setup, right? We're going to lower this to 10 pips exactly. More or less. And we're going to make that, boom, right there. Right, so this is our trade. We're in this right now. So, again, high risk, though. I would say this isn't high risk, like, oh, it's a lot of money you're risking. But I would say the probability of this trade hitting full take profit, I'd say like 65, 70. 70%-ish, more or less. 60 to 70%, so we'll say 65. For a number of different reasons, right? I'm confident with that breakout, though. That was a nice breakout, so we should be good, right? We should be good. At least for 20 to 30 more pips, right? At least until, you know, take profit 2 on this fib, You know, maybe not full take profit 3, but at least take profit 2, right? And we'll just hold it out from there, right? Granted, like I said, if we lose it, there's already a good idea. We already know why, right? Because on the higher time frame, we're still in a bearish downtrend overall, right? And we still have that kind of looks like a double top forming on the hour, and it kind of looks like we're struggling to break 5250, the quarter level, right? But since quarter level is a quarter level, we did break past 5,000 strong. We do have this strong bullish candle here. It's just going to be a matter of seeing what happens now. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, I'm in this trade as of right now, so I'm not going to really be looking for sells anymore, you know, because we're already in on buys. If we do, I'll say this, though. If we do break below, and we get stomped out, that means that we entered our channel again. Confirming this was a fake out, confirming that more than likely we do need to come back down to the bottom of that trend again, right? Because the trend didn't break at that point. If we break back into this zone, the trend is still considered valid technically, and this movement would be considered a fake out, right? So it's just something to be aware of. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens here. What happens at this price? Are we going to hold and continue higher? We very well could. So just be prepared. If you are in the trade, we very well could go into drawdown because of our new entry, right? Ideally, we wanted to wait for a retest down here, right? Meaning that this could come back down to here for a full break and retest, right? It could do that. So if we go into drawdown, don't freak out, right? It's something that, okay, well, we already knew ahead of time that it could do that, but we entered early. We entered now, that way we didn't potentially miss the entire move, right? So something to be aware of. So I'll keep you guys updated on that, and if we decide that we are fully breaking back down, I'll keep you guys updated, and if we get stopped out, that means we're more than likely going back down to the bottom of the trend. And then the analysis is the exact same as it was when we first started. We're waiting for the break to the up and enter, or we're waiting for the break to the downside and then we enter. But it's the same setup though, even if this fakes us out right now. I don't think we're going to get faked out, but even if we do get faked out, it's the same setup. You know, it just means we got faked out. You know what I mean? The same way that back down here, buyers got faked out, or sellers got faked out down here. You know what I mean? But if we're smart, those sellers were still able to get 20 pips. You know what I mean? 20 pips. So, you know, if we time it good, we start seeing some signs of reversal, we close the trade, we walk away with maybe $200 for the day. I'm not complaining. You know what I mean? So, there's that opportunity. Same thing happened back here, you know, on the original fake out. If we want to measure that really quick, how far did this one go? And also, this is the first bullish fake out we've gotten. So, same thing, 20 pips here. 20 pips and 20 pips. That's interesting. So, this is the first bullish break to the upside we've gotten. And if we got 20 pips on us, on average, we have about halfway there. So, we have about another 10 to 12 more pips that we can catch. If we start seeing signs of reversal, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move my stop loss to break even. This will be a trade that I move stop loss to break even on. Because of the situation and the position at where we're at in price, this is a trade that I would put, what was I just saying? Trailing stop loss. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what happened there. But a trailing stop loss. I would put a trailing stop loss on that one, or just a break even stop loss on that trade. For this one specifically, just because of where we're at. So yeah, I mean, that's what I got. Right now, we're consolidating. We're floating a little bit. So, as to be expected, you know what I mean? You know, again, there's probably so many thousands of people trading that just did the exact same thing that we did. So, while there is as many buyers pushing price up, there is just as many sellers right now attempting to push the price down. This looks like bullish pressure. So, I'm chilling. Looks like a bullish pennant. Bullish triangle forming right now. So, I'm hanging out with that. So now, yeah, all we got to do is wait. So hey, I think that was a pretty good trade. Even if we lose it, again, I'm comfortable with the analysis and I understand the variables. So I wouldn't be surprised if we lost it, but I'm also gunning to win it. You know what I mean? So you gotta expect to win, but I gotta understand why you lost as well. You can't just lose and be like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? You have to have an idea prior. So if we end up losing this trade, I kind of have my reasons as to why this could go back down right now and stop us out. But on the opposite side of that, I have more confirmations that this could go up. So based off of that, we entered the trade, right? And I actually did adjust my risk. Usually on my on the mini account, I made the plan that I'm going to be doing 70 cents per pip. I did 50. On the prop firm account, I made the plan to do $70 a pip, and I'm doing 50. So 50 cents and then $50 is what I'm trading when I was going to be trading 70 cents and $70 a pip. But I adjusted it based off of the uncertainty. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do. Whenever you feel like, oh man, I don't know if this is a for sure thing, just lower the risk. You know what I mean? Lower the risk. I always say, like, this is just a rule of thumb. If you have 5+ confirmations, you can feel comfortable risking 3%, for example, on your stop loss. Meaning, if you have $100, you can risk $30. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. You can risk $3 on your trade, right? For your stop loss. Okay, if you only have 4 confirmations, you drop it 1%, drop it to 2%. If you only have 3 confirmations, drop it another percent and drop it to 2%. 1% risk. And if you have less than 3 confirmations, just don't trade. It's that simple. If you can't find 3 reasons why you think the market is going to go in either direction, don't trade. Study the course. Trade on demo and figure it out. Get on the live streams. Practice. And then when you can identify 5+ confirmations, go full port, full risk. However much you want to risk according to your trading plan in the booster pack, right? Or nothing. That's what you got to do. You know what I mean? Once you learn it, then you will learn how to adjust your risk. You know how to adjust your tolerance. You know what the plan is. You know what the plan isn't. You know what confirmations are good and you know what confirmations are bad. Everything that I went over today, I go fully in depth in the course throughout phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, primarily phase 3, and in the pit blueprint. So yeah, so that's how that is. So so that's the trade setup, guys. It's been an hour, you know what I mean? I don't want to keep your morning too long. But hey, I appreciate you guys. I think that was an amazing setup. Great session. Very, easy trade. We win, we know why. If we lose, we know why. So, I'm excited. I'm happy. It's a Monday, or it's today's, no, I don't know why I said Monday. What day is today, dude? I'm telling you, when it comes to running this app, bro, and today's Tuesday. Doing all this stuff, man. I thought today was Wednesday, and then I just said Monday, and now I'm finding out it's Tuesday. But you just forget about stuff. That's funny. But okay, so we'll go ahead. We'll end it off there, guys. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Before I close the call out, if you guys feel like you got some value, you understood everything, and you're confident, win, lose, or draw about what we went over today, do me a favor and drop some 7s in the chat for me. If you feel confident, you understood everything, and you're good to go with the rest of your day, and you're ready for tomorrow, do me a favor and drop a 7 in the chat. If you are confused, then do me a favor, do yourself the favor, and write your question in the chat. I think there's only 2 of you. You know what I mean? So I think it's just you 2. So if you both said it, we're good. We're chilling. Jordan, bro, I appreciate you, man. We need to hop on a call. And then same thing. Jesse, you and me, we need to hop on our call as well. Do a next family call. And, do a progress update with that, right? But we're in the trade. I'll keep you guys updated on what it's doing, right? It's pretty easy to see. We're forming a little triangle thing right now. Forming some buying pressure. And we're going to rip. So hopefully we make $1,000 today. And we make a lot of money. But I'll keep you guys updated. Much love as always. I appreciate you both for hopping on the stream. And the numbers are going to keep getting bigger, guys. So, just keep plugging in. It'll be more intimate like this for right now. But do me a favor. Go into the team chat. Just tell everyone they missed out. Or just do something. Shout me out on social media. Whatever you can do. But with that, guys, that's all I got for you. Let me do this really quick. Oops. Okay. Let me take a quick little picture. I can't see you guys. It's just me. So. Hey, lit. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, no, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I'll keep you updated on how the trade's progressing. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns in between now and tomorrow morning, go in the team chat, ask your questions there, or send me a text. All right. But with that, I love you both. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. Peace.
Thank you.